Welcome to cryptocurrency vlog number 16. I'm your host Brent Nally, and today is Monday, December 18th, 2017.
And hey guys, it's Christopher Lau here with C Lau Travel. What Brent's going to talk about today is cryptocurrency hit an all-time new market cap of $600 billion and Bitcoin hit $20,000 per Bitcoin USD. So what Brent's going to talk about today is hyper-Bitcoinization. Try to say that 2 times fast.
So remember, this is not financial advice. I am not your financial advisor. This is just me talking about how I see this very strange and interesting world of internet cryptocurrency money. So as Chris mentioned, the cryptocurrency total market cap just went over $600 billion. It's currently sitting at about $605 billion right now on December 18th, here at about 12 o'clock Pacific time. So the cryptocurrency market cap just surpassed 500 billion a few days ago. And if you've been following this vlog, you know that we just hit $200 billion, about a month ago, just going off my memory here. So the cryptocurrency market cap is taking off, and a lot of people are wondering, Brent, is this a bubble? This looks like a bubble. And 99.9% of the time, you would be correct. And you might be correct right now. But I believe that this is that 0.1% of the time where the rest of the market is incorrect, and this is not a bubble. So first we have to define the term bubble here, because a lot of people have different definitions for the word bubble. So in 2008, when the stock market and pretty much the global economy almost fell apart, without the TARP bailout of the United States federal government, we had asset classes that were clearly in a bubble, and that bubble bursted. So if you look at real estate as an example, it didn't affect certain areas in the US as much as it did places like here in the Bay Area, where your average prices fell about 40% in just a few months' time. So a property in late 2008 that was worth roughly $1 million, maybe a few months or about a year later in late 2009, early 2010, was worth maybe $600,000. I personally remember seriously looking in to buy property in late 2010 at very low prices compared to what they are today. And I didn't pull the trigger because I was fearful that the prices would go down lower, and they were already incredibly low at the time. Just to give you some numbers, I was looking to purchase a home in San Jose for just under $300,000, and that home is worth about $800,000 now. So I should have done that, but I didn't. You move on from life. The reason I give this example is because real estate was clearly in a bubble in 2008, 2009. However, real estate is still a legitimate asset class, and it's still something that people are going to want and need and use, even though that asset class was about 40% overvalued during that bubble, right? So even if Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is in a short-term bubble right now, what I personally believe is that this new asset class of cryptocurrency, decentralized, autonomous organizations using blockchain for security is completely a new paradigm. The genie's out of the bottle. There will be certain booms and busts, but remember, if you've been watching this vlog, the prices are going straight up long term in the months and the years to come, is what I personally strongly believe, and what hopefully this audience understands if you've been watching since vlog 1. So when people say, Brent, Bitcoin's a bubble, I don't know what they mean, right? This isn't something that you're gonna figure out in 2 seconds or a quick question or a quick Google search. This is more of something where I've done over a decade of research to understand this market more than 99% of the people on this planet. And I'm sharing that knowledge with this audience for free. Sticking with the recent news, as Chris mentioned, Bitcoin did cross $20,000 USD very, very briefly, and then has come back down and is currently hovering around $19,000 USD. Remember, as I've mentioned on this vlog, there's many different global cryptocurrency exchanges, so the price of Bitcoin is massively arbitraged. So Bitcoin could be trading for $22,000 in South Korea right now on those cryptocurrency exchanges, while it could also be trading for somewhere in $18,000 on other exchanges globally. The Bitcoin total market cap hit $330 billion recently, which is a new all-time high. And that market cap is higher than Visa. It's also higher than MasterCard, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America. Think about what I just said there. This shit's getting real. Bitcoin is a global currency. Visa, MasterCard, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America are all very strong brands that our American audience is familiar with. However, this is a global vlog, and we are getting people commenting from Japan, Europe, China, all over Asia. I've even had a few comments from folks in Africa, and they might not actually be familiar with the brands Visa, MasterCard, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo. So while that sounds pretty crazy to this audience, remember to think globally. This is a global currency that does not stop. It does not turn off. So it's just better in every single way than our current financial market system, which only is open in business hours, Monday through Friday. Our stock markets and our banks are closed for most of the day, Saturday and Sunday. So let's do a quick little experiment here. Imagine your name is Timmy, and you started buying Bitcoin in 2012 at the age of 11. It's now 6 years later approximately, and you're 17 years old. And last year, your mom and dad said, Timmy, you should open a bank account. You're 16 years old. Timmy says, Mom, Dad, what do I need a bank account for? I'm a Bitcoin millionaire. And Timmy's parents laugh because they don't really know what's going on, and they don't know what Timmy's been doing in his bedroom for the last few years, online, using this fake internet money. Ha ha ha. So Timmy's a Bitcoin millionaire. He hasn't really told anybody, but he knows that he's wealthy. But he appeases his mom and dad, and Timmy last year went and opened a bank account at age 16. And he gets there, and the bank teller says, all right, young man, we're gonna need your information, name, and all this. And he's like, whoa, 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 what do you need all this stuff for? I just want a place to store my money and do transactions. And they say, well, we need this. And so Timmy goes along. So Timmy makes his first check deposit, and the bank teller says, okay, young Timmy, you're going to receive your money in about 2 to 3 business days. And Timmy's confused, and he says, what's a business day? I want my money now, or at least in the next few minutes or hours, and I want it to be immutable so that nobody can take it back. That's what Timmy's been used to in Bitcoin. Cryptocurrency is new money. Cryptocurrency is better money on every single way, if you understand how the technology works, which is what this vlog is all about, education. If you don't understand how this technology works, you can get burned bad by sending money into the abyss and it's gone. So don't do that. Educate yourself, understand what you're doing. But hopefully you understand that we're going to be living in a world, mainstream, very shortly, globally, where no money ever turns off. It's always able to be sent at any time, anywhere, on any device, and it's censorship resistant, meaning that no government or outside party or corporation can stop an individual party A from sending value to party B. This is a big idea. This is why cryptocurrency is taking off, and I really want you to stop and think about how big of an idea this is. So when I talk to people who are in their teens or their early 20s, they totally understand cryptocurrency for the most part. And they're already making tons of money in cryptocurrency, and they don't have that voice in their head like older folks, like maybe me in their early 30s and older, are saying like, hey, this is too good to be true, this can't be real. Or, hey, I don't get it, I don't understand it. They're just learning rapidly. And so you need to have an open mind here. One of my favorite quotes is that the mind is like a parachute. It has to be open to work. So if you have your friends or family who've had their minds closed to Bitcoin, or maybe they've just been listening to mainstream propaganda like Forbes and New York Times and Wall Street Journal, then they're gonna miss out on what Vlog 15 stated is the greatest transfer of wealth in history. But remember, I still think we're just about 1% into this paradigm. So if you do the math, 1% of 600 billion is, drum roll, it's about 60 trillion, right? But I still think that we're gonna hit the quadrillions mark when you get into derivatives and all sorts of other high finance type markets, which for the purpose of this vlog, we're not gonna get into too much. But remember, if one person, me, wants to send value to another person, we'll call that person Christopher Lau, then no other authority should be able to stop that, in my opinion. And that's the world we're already in with cryptocurrencies. And it looks to me from my research that there's no way any government or corporation can stop that, really ever, unless the whole internet gets taken down. But we even now have the Bitcoin satellite. So even if our internet goes down, we can still transact value over that Bitcoin satellite network as well. So one thing that I haven't mentioned on this vlog, and again, this is not financial advice, I'm not your financial advisor. However, I do own GBTC. So that's girl, boy, Tom, cat. GBTC is the ticker symbol for an OTC, or over-the-counter stock that you can buy. And I only own this because I did not want to sell off my 401k. So I own GBTC in my 401k as well as my wife's 401k. GBTC carries a separate set of risks than investing directly in Bitcoin. So basically, if you want to not sell your 401k and take that 10% hit for selling plus pay taxes on that 401k, basically taking anywhere from a 30 to 50% hit, then buying GBTC could be a good idea. Again, not financial advice, not your financial advisor, but that's what I've done. So that's the 1-year chart of GBTC. So it's already taken off like a rocket ship. It's actually gone up a little bit more than Bitcoin because people are really trying to invest in Bitcoin in their 401k or their IRA without actually selling. And right now, GBTC is the best way to do that. GBTC is the Bitcoin Investment Trust. I believe you'll see other financial vehicles in the traditional financial markets, like maybe the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange, starting to offer vehicles to get exposure to Bitcoin. However, right now, I personally believe that GBTC is the best way to get exposure to Bitcoin in your traditional 401k or IRA. So Bitcoin has already had a few forks. The most successful fork financially was Bitcoin Cash that forked on August 1st, 2017. And Bitcoin Cash is currently trading for a little under $2,000 per Bitcoin, which is right around $30 billion in market cap. So just real quickly, think of a fork as kind of like a biological mutation. So basically what's going on is because there are no Bitcoin offices or Bitcoin employees, and Bitcoin's not a company, there's no CEO. Bitcoin is a group of developers called Bitcoin Core, and there's the Bitcoin community who all have different beliefs on where the Bitcoin blockchain should go, how this project should move forward. And if those beliefs become too separated, then there can be a group of individuals who can decide to fork the blockchain and create their own blockchain. So that's essentially what happened with Bitcoin Cash. And then the Bitcoin original blockchain just continues to go on with its blockchain. So Bitcoin also forked into Bitcoin Gold a few months ago. And recently we had successful forks of Bitcoin with Bitcoin X and Super Bitcoin. The upcoming Bitcoin forks are Bitcoin Lightning, Bitcoin Uranium, Bitcoin Platinum, and yes, even Bitcoin God is proposed to fork on December 25th, 2017. Pretty crazy stuff. But I generally think that forks are a good thing. It's kind of like the altcoin movement that started about 5 years ago. And everybody at the time was wondering if this is a good or bad thing for Bitcoin. But I'm a free market anarcho-capitalist. I am a voluntarist, essentially. It just means that adults should always voluntarily communicate with other adults. There should never be forced communication or forced confrontation between adults. So, with that being stated, if a group of developers want to fork the chain of Bitcoin and try their own ideas for Bitcoin, then I think that's a positive thing. Because if you own Bitcoin at the time of the fork, or any cryptocurrency that forks, you own your private key at the time, then you actually own the fork. If that fork is successful and you continue to own your private key, then great, you just made money on the fork of this new cryptocurrency. If, however, this fork fails, then no big deal. It fails, it will go to zero or hover around nothing. You can always sell that fork off and go and do whatever you want with that new money that you just got. So a fork is kind of like a dividend in stocks, but there are differences. So don't just think that a fork and a dividend is the same thing. There are 2 Ethereum forks that are proposed to be coming up here very shortly as well. Ethereum modification and also Ethereum fog. Remember, Ethereum has already forked once. It's called Ethereum Classic. So the moral of the story for forks are, make sure you own your own private key of Bitcoin or Ethereum on a cold storage hardware wallet, either a Trezor or a Ledger. I like them both. Buy either one that's cheaper that you prefer after your own research. So if you own your own private key on the day that Bitcoin or Ethereum forks, then you will have access to that fork at the time that the development teams make it available. So it's really that simple. I know that forking is a very complex idea. I still don't fully understand everything myself, but just know that if you want to retain the value of the fork of a coin, then you need to own that private key of that coin. If you have your Bitcoin or your Ethereum on an exchange like Coinbase, then Coinbase actually owns your private key, and you're at the mercy of Coinbase to give you the value of the fork at their own time. Whenever they determine, they will give you that value. So what I tell myself all the time is that I'm going to hold all of my cryptocurrency on my own private key, on my own cold storage wallet, on either my Trezor or my Ledger Nano S or my Ledger Blue. I have all these different cold storage wallets. I like to play with all the different technologies and learn about them, but I always retain my private seed code, my private key, so that I can never get my money stolen from, because I'm protecting my private key properly, and no government or individual can take my money. It's completely censorship resistant. And then also, if I get forks of Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other altcoins, then I also retain that value whenever that fork is available. If you're leaving your money on a centralized cryptocurrency exchange, whether it be Coinbase or Binance or Bittrex or any other cryptocurrency exchange, you're at the mercy of that exchange. If that exchange gets hacked, you're probably going to lose your money. Even if that exchange is completely secure and does not get hacked, then you're still going to be at risk to potentially lose that money or have that money delayed from a fork of that coin. So a big idea here that I think we could be in the very beginning of occurring is called HYPERBITCOINIZAtion. And you can Google that term. There'll be a link right here below and also in the description. So HYPERBITCOINIZation has been theorized for a number of years, and the link from the article below is from March 29th, 2014. So remember, there's been many Bitcoin experts who have been in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency community for years, and they've been thinking about how Bitcoin could end up hyperinflating, which is a very good thing. So remember, because Bitcoin is not a debt-based monetary paradigm like all fiat currencies are, right? Central banks create money by issuing debt. So when a normal fiat currency hyperinflates and goes up, 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 that's a very bad thing, because you're devaluing the dollars or the Japanese yen or the euro or whatever fiat currency you own is being devalued. Bitcoin is the opposite for the hodlers of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. As that value continues to go up, if you own that cryptocurrency, then you just become more and more wealthy. This is why Bitcoin is such a big idea, because it encourages savings. It encourages not spending money on stupid stuff that people don't need. One of my favorite comedians of all time is the great George Carlin. May he rest in peace. George Carlin would always say that people are spending money they don't have on shit they don't need. Money they don't have on shit they don't need. George Carlin would laugh and joke 20 years ago about how people would bust out their credit cards to spend money on a soft pretzel at the mall. You know, and now we're in a world where people are spending primarily money on things that have basically no value. So a big idea here is opportunity cost. Okay, I want you to remember that term, opportunity cost. When I was deciding if I should make this vlog or not this summer, it was a difficult decision for me because I spent about $3,000 on this camera equipment. Now, $3,000 isn't a whole lot of money to me, and it wasn't this summer, but I was very confident that if I were to invest that $3,000 into just buying Bitcoin or cryptocurrency this summer, that money would be worth much more. And as of right now, that money would probably be worth about $12,000. I knew this before I decided to do this vlog, and I'm very confident that in a few years, that $3,000 that I used to purchase this camera equipment will probably be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars if I would have just bought Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies and just held my coins. So I knew this, but I still made the decision to do this vlog because I think it's very important, and I'm trying to educate my social network and anybody else who finds this vlog on the internet. So I don't think I'm Gandhi. I have plenty of money still invested in this cryptocurrency paradigm. But I do want you to think about opportunity costs when you think about spending money on stupid shit. Instead of buying that latte at Starbucks, maybe think about saving and investing in your future. Instead of whatever your little guilty pleasure is, maybe cancel it or put it on hold to save up a little bit more money to invest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Because I believe we're in the very beginning of the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. All right, guys, that's all for now. If you haven't yet, reminder to please smash that like button. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already yet. The subscribers are going up. Super excited about that. Hit the bell for notifications so you can get an email every time I upload a new vlog. Remember to share this content with your friends and family if you find it valuable. And also, please, please, please comment below. I'm doing my best to reply to all comments in a timely manner. And then also remember to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And hold on to your butts. It's gonna be a wild ride. This is just the beginning.